Have you ever stood in your kitchen, holding a perfectly fine-looking carton of milk, staring at the expiration date like it personally betrayed you? Because according to the label, it expired yesterday. But according to your senses, it looks just fine. And now you are faced with a very human dilemma. Do you trust your eyes, your nose, or the tiny printed numbers that were decided by a company whose job is to sell you more milk? Welcome to expiration dates, one of the most misunderstood, over-trusted, and emotionally manipulative numbers in modern life. An expiration date is supposed to be the last day a consumable product, like food or medicine, is guaranteed to be at its best quality according to the manufacturer. Here is where people get confused. Expiration dates on medicine and expiration dates on food are not the same thing, even though they look identical and cause the same panic. Expiration dates on prescription and over-the-counter drugs are required by federal law. These dates are based on actual testing and indicate how long the medication is guaranteed to be safe and effective. After that date, the medicine might lose potency, meaning it may not work as intended, which is a problem when the product's entire purpose is to work. Food, on the other hand, is a completely different story. With the exception of infant formula, expiration dates on food are not required by federal law. Yes, most food expiration dates are optional. Let that sink in the next time you dramatically throw out perfectly good bread because the label told you to. Most food dates are not safety warnings. They are quality suggestions. They exist to tell you when the food will taste its best, not when it will suddenly become dangerous. This is why food packaging comes with an entire personality disorder of dates. You might see sell by, use by, best by, freeze by, or the ominous-sounding do not use after. They all sound equally threatening, but they do not mean the same thing. The sell-by date is not for you. It is for store employees. It tells them when to take the product off the shelf so it still has time to be sold and used at home. The food is usually still fine after this date. The best by date is basically the food saying, "I was better back then." It suggests the point after which the flavor or texture might decline. Not rot, not dangerous, just mild disappointment. The use-by date tells you when the product is expected to be at peak quality. Again, not a safety deadline, except when it comes to infant formula, which actually matters. The only date that is genuinely serious is expires on, or do not use after. Those are true expiration dates, and they are usually reserved for products like medicine, baking powder, or cake mix, where effectiveness actually matters. And this confusion is not accidental. Expiration dates on food started becoming common in the 1,970 seconds after consumer advocates demanded better transparency. Over time, however, people noticed something interesting. These dates were often intentionally conservative, encouraging consumers to throw out food that was still perfectly edible, which worked beautifully. According to the USDA, about 30% of the American food supply is wasted, and a large portion of that waste happens because people trust the label more than their own senses. The USDA itself has suggested that a smell test or a taste test is often more accurate than a date printed on the package, which is ironic, considering how much power we have given that date. There are also two types of food dating most people do not even realize exist. Open dating is the normal calendar date you can read. Closed dating is a code made of letters and numbers that manufacturers use internally to track when and where food was processed. It is unreadable to consumers, which is probably for the best, because we panic enough already. When it comes to meat, poultry, and eggs, things are overseen by the Food Safety and Inspection Service, or FSIS, which operates under the USDA. Manufacturers are not required to put expiration dates on these products either, but if they do, the labels must be truthful and clearly explained. Even then, the dates still focus on quality, not instant danger. So how do food manufacturers decide these dates in the first place? They consider storage time, transportation temperature, how long the product sits on shelves, the type of food, and the packaging. They calculate when the food will taste its best under ideal conditions. They do not calculate the exact moment it becomes inedible. This is why canned foods can last for years if unopened and undamaged, regardless of what the best by date says. This is why pasta, rice, and cereal are usually fine long after their dates, even if they lose some freshness. And this is why frozen meat can be stored for months without becoming unsafe, even though the flavor might slowly decline. If a product is unopened and stored properly, it is often good well past the printed date. This is where your senses come in. Look at it, smell it, if necessary, taste a small amount. Your nose is surprisingly qualified for this job. Perishable foods like meat, dairy, and eggs do require more caution, but even then, a sniff test is often more reliable than a sell-by date. The bottom line is this: expiration dates exist to protect consumers, but when it comes to food, they are mostly about quality, not safety. Expiration dates are meant to protect you. They are guidelines, not countdown clocks. And they are responsible for an incredible amount of unnecessary food waste. So the next time you find yourself holding a product that expired yesterday, take a breath. The food is not plotting against you, and it did not suddenly turn evil at midnight. If you made it to the end of this video, congratulations! You now understand expiration dates better than most people. Subscribe, like, and share before you forget everything by tomorrow.